There are negotiation techniques that the best phone flippers use to make thousands of dollars every single month just using Facebook Marketplace. So I'm going to show you the 3 golden rules and 2 advanced techniques that you can use to stay ahead of your competition and get as many deals as possible. And I'm also going to reveal the #1 biggest mistake that most new phone flippers make that completely kills their would-be deals. But before we dive in, if you want more tips on how to turn phone flipping into a full 6-figure business like I did, smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications because you do not want to miss what's coming next. Let's start with the foundation. Every successful negotiation is based on what I like to call the 3 golden rules. Rule #1, speed is everything. The early bird gets the worm, okay? That's just how it goes. But here's the trick. Don't just message, hey, is this available? That's literally what everyone does. Most of the time, people don't even respond after they ask that question. So instead, here's what you say. Hi, I'm really interested and can pick this up today. What's the best price you can do? This does 2 things. #1, it shows you're serious. And 2, it puts the ball in their court to start negotiating. Normally, they'll have 1 of 2 responses. 1 being, what's your offer? Or 2, they'll throw out an offer of their own. So the way that you overcome this is with rule #2, anchoring the conversation. The way that you would respond to this is by throwing out a lowball offer or an offer lower than what you're willing to actually pay. So for example, if it's an iPhone 11, they normally resell for $220 at this time. They're unlocked and in good condition. So if you're looking to make $50 to $70 on it, you would say this: I buy these all the time and I've been paying $120 for them. Would you consider that if I can pick up today? Now, 20% of the time they will accept your offer. 30% of the time they will have a counter offer, and then 50% of the time they'll probably just say no. So if they say yes, set up a time and a place to meet. Make sure it stays place. If they counter offer, slowly work your way up from that 120 mark that you offered all the way up to your maximum offer, which is 150. Now, if they say no, this leads me to rule #3. Always be ready to walk away. Never be desperate for a deal. You do not need the deal. You will not die if you do not get the deal. The seller will not die if they do not sell it to you. At the end of the day, they want what they want. You want to get it for what you want to get it for. And if you can't work something out, then you can't work something out. On to the next. Now, let's get into the more advanced stuff. The strategies that will put you miles ahead of your competition. And the first technique is what I like to call the bundling technique. The bundling technique is something that you can use when you're about to buy a phone. Just ask if they have more stuff that they want to get rid of. Say something like, do you have any other devices, laptops, tablets, or any other electronics that you could think of that you'd want to get rid of while we're at it? You'd be surprised how many people would be happy to throw in extra stuff and how good of deals that you can get when you do this. I personally use this every single time and get so much more profit because I use this one simple trick. Now, earlier you heard me talk about how the early bird gets the worm. This leads me to my second advanced technique, which is also more of a tool that you can use. There's a thing that you can do to be the early bird every single time. But first, let's talk about the biggest mistake that most new flippers make. A lot of new phone flippers, for some reason, feel the need to over-explain themselves. They'll say something like, oh, well, the screen has a scratch, or the battery health is low. I can only resell it for X amount of dollars. Please, please, please do not do that. They don't care. The only reason you should ever do that is to negotiate your counter offer, but not your original offer. What I mean by this is your first offer shouldn't be like, oh, well, the screen has scratches and the battery's low, so I can offer this. It should just be throwing out a price, communicating to them that you can buy the phone ASAP and make the transaction as easy as possible. If they have a counter offer, then you'll go like, okay, I wish I could do that, but it's just the screen has a scratch. That is the only situation you should over explain yourself. Instead, just keep it simple. If the price doesn't work for you, just say something like, I completely understand that this price might not be something that you'd want to do, but I can pay X and I can buy it today and make this transaction as easy as possible for you. You'd be surprised at how many people really appreciate that and how many people will hit you up a few hours later or a day later and just agree to sell it to you. Back to what I was saying about how the early bird gets the worm. The best way to maximize your chances of getting a really good deal is to be the first person to contact the seller. You may be wondering, well, how do I do that consistently without it just being luck? Well, there's 2 ways. There's the old way, which is to just constantly check Facebook Marketplace every 10 minutes, every 30 minutes, trying to find the best deal out there. Or you can use the new way, which is what a lot of resellers are catching on to. And the new way is a software that you can actually use that will send you notifications as soon as an item is posted. So instead of you having to constantly check Facebook Marketplace to see if there's anything new, it'll just send you a notification. You can click on it and be the first person to contact that seller. There's a few different softwares out there that do the exact same thing. However, the one that I found that is the best, the fastest, gets me the best results is a software called NotiFinder. It has the fastest refresh time time, and it's one of the easiest to set up. If you want to learn more information about that and also join a community, other phone flippers that can really help you out, join my SKOOL community. It's completely free, and I'll put the link in the description. Do me a favor, my biggest goal for the next year is to drop massive value for you guys. So if you guys could help me out by subscribing, leaving a like, turning on notifications so that you guys can learn how to do this yourself, it would be greatly appreciated. See you in the next one.